Hi, I'm Josandi and welcome back to my channel. Today I am excited to try something a little different. So this is a travel vlog, but I think I'm gonna tell it to you like a little story and then give you like the visuals along the way. So I am really excited. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of my voice today, so prepare yourselves. Recently had the amazing opportunity to visit Atlanta, Georgia, and I did a lot of things that I'm excited to share with you guys. So yeah, off we go onto this lovely journey. I have packed up my bags. I'm ready to go. I was planning to drive to my old job because I was going with my friend who I used to work with, and that did not work out. I got outside and my car was missing. It got towed, and that was very unfortunate, but we did not let it ruin the fun. I ended up having to just take a little public transportation and then a cab, and that is a-okay. Yeah, so on this trip we actually had my friend and I had previously started a book that we were reading together, but then we realized we were going on this trip together and we thought it would be fun to read the book on the trip. And so we stopped reading the book and waited until we got on this trip, and I did a lot of the reading at the airport. I'm gonna hand the mic over to Pastor Josandi to tell you what this book is about. Cold. Hot. Do you see that? I may have overdone it. Okay. All right. The Vanishing Half by Britt, Bennett. So, I've been reading The Vanishing Half. I actually started at home and on the plane here. So I am already on page 168, which is chapter 7. My friend and I, who are on vacation together, are reading the book together, and she has the paperback and hers has more pages than mine. So that was interesting to find out. So for reference, chapter 7. Anyways, yeah, so this book is about like two twins, and they live in this little town called Mallard. I forget where it is. I think in Louisiana, but the point is that like the people there are I guess have like breeded over the years to like make their skin color lighter even though they're colored. And so these two twins, Stella and Desiree, don't like the town, and they decide to like run away. And yeah, I guess they're like whitewashing themselves, like they're trying to be white passing. And I don't know if there's any other better way to describe the book, but honestly, I thought I was gonna get a lot of reading done on the plane, and I don't know why I thought that, because I always get on planes and I always end up falling asleep on the plane the entire time. Like, I cannot read for the life of me. Except on the way back for some reason. I think it was because we had 2 layovers, so they were like an hour and a half rides. So it wasn't enough time for me like fully fall asleep. So I did read quite a bit when we were coming back, but definitely not on the way over. And it's very unusual for me to actually accomplish anything on an airplane, because my body is just like, bedtime. But as soon as we landed, we threw our stuff in the Airbnb and headed over to a bar called 529 Bar, and this was in East Atlanta Village. And I cannot explain to you what happened at this bar. Like, we went in and it was a little like iffy. The crowd was like different from what we usually see, I guess. But it was still cool. The only thing was we saw like a doorway into the other side of the bar, and it looked like a dance floor, but it looked empty. And I don't know what possessed us, but we were like, let's go check it out. Let's go see what's in the empty side and sit there for a while for no reason. And I can't explain why the vibes were so immaculate. Like, I can't explain it. It must be something about the energy in there. It was just great. There was nobody in there, but we were still having a great time. And then eventually people did come in and were like drunkenly dancing, like 3 or 4 of them on their own. Honestly, it was great. There was this really nice like wall with like albums and stuff. And we did cross the street to this really cute looking bar called the Flatiron. It looked like a Flatiron building. And that was our evening on Friday night. Saturday, we woke up not bright and early, slept in, but we decided to check out a bookstore that I'd found on Instagram called Read Shop, which is basically known because you come in and it's like a cute little coffee shop, but at the top there's like a hanging bookshelf in the middle. And I was really excited to get this bookstore. We went inside with every intention of buying a book, but then I can't really explain it. Like, the book selling part was more like for aesthetics purposes than actual book selling. Like, there wasn't a large variety of books, and it was a very like particular like type of book. I will say that I was really excited to see a lot of like kid versions of classic books, like I think Pride and Prejudice, Emma, and so that I'd never seen before, and I thought was really cute and really interesting. But we didn't buy any books there. We did buy a hot chocolate, which was really, really good. And my friend had an iced coffee. We sat by the window and read our book, The Vanishing Half. And it seems like a lot of other people come in there and just like hang out on the couches, like by the windows. They sit at the tables and just like hang out. The guy was really friendly and he gave us some suggestions that we actually took. And it was located in this really cute little town. There was this place called Paces and Vines that we didn't get to see, but it was like, no, we saw it. We didn't get to eat there, but it was so cute, and I would definitely go back and look and see if we're able to go into that place because it was so adorable. And then the unfortunate happened. We decided that we didn't want to pay $30 cabs to get everywhere, and we wanted to have the freedom to kind of like jump from place to place without worrying about the expenses. So we rented a car, but that ended up in us spending the entire day at the airport because my good friends at Avis Rentals apparently rented out more cars than they had. And we had to stay there and wait all day long until like 5:30 to get a car. And I was seriously so hangry. Which is annoying because as soon as we left like the line and we were like walking towards like where we were picking up the car, then we noticed that there was a vending machine, and we could have not suffered the entire time, but we did, because we hadn't eaten all day until then. But we got our car and we drove it out to Buck's Head, another area in Atlanta, and we had dinner at a place called City Reforma. It was a Mexican style like brunch spot, but we went for dinner. It was so freaking good. Oh my gosh. So we actually ordered this this is another place that I found on Instagram. We ordered a mimosa bar. So what you do is you pick your size of bottle. They bring you a bottle, and then you pick like a few flavors of juices, and you can basically pour yourself your own mimosas and try different flavors and not just stick to one. And it was honestly so worth it. We also ordered like this mini street taco combo that comes with like rice or beans, and you can pick up to like 4 tacos, and I think it was like $15. It was so cheap. And then that was also delicious. We ended the meal with these desserts in a jar, and we got the flan and the tres leches, and oh my god, the tres leches, I mean the flan was good, but the tres leches was amazing. I am definitely going back there. I recommend this place, City Reforma. Check them out. And we ended the night at a nightclub called Havana. So it had like 3 different rooms, and each one had a different DJ and a different vibe. We spent most of the night in the little Latin room because, you know, your girl gotta represent. And then we got out of there and hit a place called Cookout at 3 o'clock in the morning. We were driving home and we see a line at this place, and we're like, we have to check it out. And I got some cheese fries and a cheesecake. It was a strawberry cheesecake, and oh my god, this whole trip I just had like such amazing food. I can't explain it. So this cheesecake had like a strawberry like jam on top, and it did taste like strawberry jelly, but it worked, and it was so good. So good that we went back the next day for more. And then that brings us to Sunday. On Sunday, we woke up bright and early. We went to a bookstore called Bookish, and this bookstore had like all blue outside. It was giving book of the month if they had a physical store. And they actually, to be honest, had a lot of book of the month books in there. So what they did was they had new books. And they were right there in the same shelf, right alongside used books, and you would just know the difference because the used books would have like a little tag sticking out at the top with like a decreased price. And they had a lot of book of the month books there, and honestly, like a lot of books that were my vibe. Unfortunately, I didn't go crazy in there because a lot of the books I had already read, and I wanted to just take advantage of the used aspect of it, so I got a used book instead of a new one. Let me show you. Okay, so the book I got was The Wives by Taryn Fisher, and this book is about, how to explain? So there's this guy, he is a polygamist, and he has multiple wives, but is that the right term? well, I don't know if it's the right term, but he has 3 wives, and for some reason the wives are like not allowed to meet each other even though they know about each other. And this man tells them, yeah, like don't contact each other, but of course they do, obviously. And they start to meet up and talk to each other, and one of the wives ends up coming to coffee with like bruises, and the other wife finds that weird because she's never like known her husband to be violent. But then, you know, she starts digging and like trying to find out who he really is, and it's giving that he has like some secret other life, and probably like there's something about him that's going to be revealed. I feel like that was the worst summary of life, but this book just sounded so interesting, and I've had it in my Amazon cart for a while, and I've been trying to monitor how many books I buy this year, so I haven't bought it yet. But then when I saw it and it was like $6, and this is the little tags that they had, but they would like stick out of the book. So I had to get it, The Wives, and you can see obviously whoever got this got it from Target. But and then we hit breakfast at a place called Petit Chou. It was like a French-inspired little breakfast pastry shop. They actually were closing by the time we got there, so I guess they're really just open for breakfast. And I don't know, it had a lot of potential, but it didn't live up to the potential. That's all I'm gonna say. My friends actually had a really good pastry there, so we'll take her word for it. And yeah, we didn't spend much time there, but the staff was really friendly and it was really cute, really nicely decorated. After Petit Chou, we decided to hit the Trap Museum, which we actually wanted to get to the day before, but the line was super long when we got out the airport, so we just decided to save it for the next day. And the Trap Museum, honestly, it was interesting, and there was like some information, but mostly I feel like it was Instagrammable moments. I'm not complaining. I took a lot of pictures. But there were a couple things that you got to see, like there was a letter that Lil Wayne wrote when he was in jail, and also some displays from music videos. There was a big open area with like a bar. You can get some adult bevs, but it's definitely not like an adults only place. It's definitely kid friendly. I had a lot of fun, and I highly recommend that you check it out. And it wasn't even that expensive, to be honest. But from the Trap House, we headed back home, got ready for dinner, got all cute, and we hit a place called Little Bear, which the barista from Reed Shop recommended to us. Little Bear was a Jewish and Asian fusion, and honestly, it was so good. The thing about this place was that all of the things that I thought were appetizing were meat-based meals, and I don't eat meat. So I was a little bit disappointed by that, but I did have a veggie fritter, I think it was. And I tasted all my friends' foods, even the meat, like just a little bit just to see, and it was so freaking good. And I wish I knew at the end. The waitress told me that I could have done like a sweet potato substitute for the chicken. So I'm definitely gonna have to try that. I wish I knew that coming in, because by the time that she had told me that, my friend was almost done eating and I had already resigned myself to get pizza. But we got Georgia pizza, and it was actually pretty good. It was a place called Grant Central Pizza, and it was in this tiny little village area that was honestly kind of creepy. There was like a creepy statue at the front that someone had put like a beer can on. That was kind of funny, but honestly kind of creepy. I think it's because it was like the middle of the night. But the pizza was really good. And then from the pizza shop, I just got a slice there because we had to go back to cook out. Like, how could we not? And we got the cheesecake again because it was so good. And then I also got a banana chocolate milkshake. Oh, so good. Everything in that place was so good. I also recommend the cheese fries. So good. And we've made it to Monday, the last day of the trip. Monday, we woke up, we went back into East Atlanta Village, which was near the bar we went to on the first night. We hit a spot called Emerald City Bagels, which was so cute. It was giving like Wizard of Oz vibes for some reason. And then outside, there was like some amazing like art on the streets, on the walls, which we got to enjoy. We sat in the car and ate our bagels. They were delicious, a little salty, but you get over it because it was so good and like the cheese was perfectly melted. And then we hit another recommendation from the guy at Read Shop, which was Virginia Highland Books. This was a little bit further away from everything else that we did, but it was so worth it. This bookstore was so cute. It was like a two-story bookshop, and it honestly felt like someone's living room. Like there was a little seating area in the front, and you can look out at the cute little village. And you can also walk around. They have like coffee tables everywhere. It feels very much living room vibes. And the sorting of the books was a little bit confusing, but once you like pay attention and you understand what's going on, it actually is pretty easy to figure out. And all of the fiction was upstairs, and then downstairs was the nonfiction. And it was so cute. They had like a little staircase, and it had all of the names of famous poets and writers, and it was just really, really adorable. I did get one book. This was on the little table that was recommended by staff, and this is The School for Good Mothers by Jessamine Chan. I actually have no idea what this book is about. I had heard of it before, and it is on my TBR. So I didn't bother reading the description again. I knew I wanted to read this book, and usually with these like thrillers, I don't know if this is a thriller, but I know it's supposed to be really thought-provoking and maybe psychological, so I decided not to read the description. And I did also get these two bookmarks. This is just my two favorite colors, and I thought it was a vibe, so I just got it. It's a little forest, and then this one is so beautiful. It's like a fairy tale-esque, and it's still in the packaging, but it's giving like Peter Pan fairy tales. So that was my purchase at Virginia Highland Books, and then we went over to a little coffee shop called Perc, P-E-R-C, and it was so cute. Like it was like a pink and white aesthetic. It felt very like minimalistic and modern, and we had a coquito latte, which honestly was probably the best coffee I've ever tasted in my entire life. I'm not exaggerating. It was so good. And we sat outside with our iced coffees and drank them and read our books, and yeah, it was just, I can't explain it. The weather got so nice. It was a vibe. I highly recommend both the Perc and Virginia Highland Books. They're on the same block. So you don't even have to go far. It was just the perfect pairing. Before heading out, we decided to hit downtown Atlanta. We started off with an escape room. It was called Paranoia Escape Rooms, I think. You'll see it in the video clip right now. But it was honestly so amazing. We did the murder mystery one. I would definitely come back. We sucked. We did not figure out anything on our own, but the detective guy that was there was so helpful and funny, and it was fun despite our total failure. and I felt like I was in like a spy movie. They also have other options besides the murder mystery. You can do like a zombie apocalypse. You can do a zombie apocalypse with actors dressed as zombies. That's a no for me. So those are survival style. And then there's also School of Magic, which we didn't get to do because it has a 4-person minimum, but that one is Harry Potter inspired. So it sounds really cool. And I literally am totally obsessed. I wanted to buy a second round immediately after doing it, but we were out of time, or we didn't have enough time to do another one, so we decided to just walk around Atlanta. We tried to go into the underground Atlanta, but it was closed during the daytime, so we didn't get to experience much, but we did walk around, got some souvenirs, drove around downtown, got the lay of the land before heading back to the airport and finishing the Vanishing half. I finished the book at Buffalo Wild Wings, and we literally went there just because we were like, we need a salad. We ate so, I don't want to say gross because the food was so good, but I felt so gross from eating so unhealthy all weekend. We were like, I desperately need some green stuff. So we sat at Buffalo Wild Wings and finished our books, The Vanishing Half. I cried. It was so good. I ended up giving the book 3.5 stars because I just felt like the time jumps didn't make a whole lot of sense. You got super invested in one of the twins, like Desiree's life, and then you don't hear about Stella for a very long time, and then you get jumped into Stella's life and you get invested into Stella's life, and you don't hear about Desiree for a long time. Then at the end it kind of tries to marry the two, but it doesn't really, and the ending, you just don't get that like satisfactory ending that you want. And I know that you don't always get what you want in life, and I think that was the point. I do think the book was a beautiful exploration of color and what it means to fit in, and how you can quote unquote fit in and still feel lonely, which I think has a lot to do with like being where you naturally belong. I think that a lot of what the author was trying to say is that Stella's character, without spoiling anything, was trying to be someone who she's not and fit in where, you know, it's not natural for her to fit in. I understand her purposes for wanting to fit in and the lifestyle that she was chasing for not only herself, but her daughter. But at the end of the day, you know, it was just lonely having to keep a secret and be a different person than who you pretend to be all the time. It was really beautiful. There was a line that Early says at the end of the book, and it just made my heart break in half. And it was just a really beautifully written book. I just wish that we had gotten more about both the characters without like extended periods of times without hearing about that. And yeah, then we headed back home, and I cried again because I'm so sad that the trip is over. And here we are. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this little travel vlog. Stay tuned because in 1 week I will be headed on a bookcation to Puerto Rico. I'm so excited. I posted this post on my Instagram and I instantly fell in love. It was talking about how I just want to go on vacation and read books all day and then go out to dinner at night and talk about the books that I read all day. And that sounded amazing. So I posted on my Instagram, and a friend of mine actually was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go. And we booked it. So I'm really excited. I hope you guys enjoyed this little travel vlog. I don't know if the next one is going to be the same style or not, but I look forward to sharing my reading adventures in Puerto Rico with you. If you like this, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and if you made it this far, leave me an airplane emoji down at the bottom to let me know. Also, let me know, have you guys taken any trips? Did you notice any nice bookstores? Because I'm always on the hunt. I think that's my new thing. I'm gonna start collecting books from places I travel to, because those are my two hobbies. And I will leave you guys at that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.